10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the SBWL SHOW, a show for the dreamers. So this week, we meet two very successful young mothers and graduates of the University of the Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. Wherever you are, across the globe, no matter what culture you come from or whatever belief system you subscribe to, across all species, creatures on earth, build relationships, establish connections in pursuit of survival. But among all relationships that creatures on earth establish, the most intimate relationship, the most prized connection established by all creatures across the species is that of a mother and child. In the development stages of an individual, one starts to develop patterns, to develop formulae and blueprints that become the method they use to establish connections for the rest of their lives, irrespective of where they are, who they are, and where they live. The developmental stages of an infant start to become status quo that crystallize into habits that are reapplied across different situations and circumstances in order to best achieve a highest ability to reach potential of survival, to access food, shelter, and to establish and forge relationships. But relationships revolve around access to opportunity to gather food, to find shelter, and to defend one's livelihood. As lions move in prides and hyenas move in packs toward gathering food and defending the herds and the tribes and groups and social networks of creatures, so does mankind, forming and establishing connections and relationships to build a better livelihood for themselves toward survival. So even though relationships can be idealized in the mind, the truth is, in reality, people are complicated. Humanity as a whole is full of complication. Relationships have paradigms that can be broken, can shift and change over time. Different circumstances make people do things that might be out of character from the perspective of somebody who is looking and observing the situation from outside, looking in. With the economy shifting and changing, just like a chameleon, and society having ever-growing ambitions, we find that every year a new child is born, a new baby comes into this world, not necessarily in a home where there are two parents to nurture them, but single-parent households are a staple in many scenarios. And in this case, in today's show, we look at a vast array of different ways that the youth today, young parents, are making things happen, are still raising their beautiful young children to be healthy contributors to society in the future by themselves, but with the support of their communities, their families, their friends, and their ancestors. In a country that is rich with heritage, with culture, with opportunity, we still struggle with the burden of economic struggles, of socioeconomic issues, as well as gender-based violence, where couples' relationships are broken every day because of the inability of people to be mature and not have to act in the trajectory of violence and how they navigate conflict situations. I think we all thirst for the opportunity. We yearn for the chance to be in situations where we can navigate space and know that we are loved and supported without fear of being victimized and abused. And sometimes, especially as a young mother, one has to make a decision for the betterment and the health and the best future for their child to move forward in solitude, especially relationship-wise, knowing that all they need do is look around them where they are and they have the support they need, because no child is raised just by their parents alone. But every child, no matter which society they come from, no matter what culture they originate from, if they just look around, they're raised by a community of people who have influence over the way they live life, over the way they interact with other people.
Hi, I'm Bundu. I'm a, I'm a, I'm a vet graduate. Um, Graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in African Literature and Philosophy. From born and bred in Hillbrow. Grew up in Hillbrow. Um, I'm a new mom as well. I gave birth to my son on the 9th of November 2019. Yeah. Okay. What motivates me generally, and I think it also informs many other things that I encounter in my life, is the fact that nothing ever happens by mistake. Um, I that is like a belief that that is something that I believe in very strongly, that nothing ever happens, but I just don't believe in mistakes as a thing. Um, so besides, not even besides that, as that being a background to the motive to my motivation, then I think it informs how I took, you know, my pregnancy, and the fact that I was actually going to be someone's mother. You know, the fact that it's not a mistake. You know, things that happen for a reason, always, always. You know, so that is how I've been surviving. And also, like, fuck, my ancestors are twerking, bruh. They twerking for me, like 24, 24, 24 hours, 7 days a week. They're there, you know. And I also believe in the everlasting and eternal spirit of my mom, even though she's not here in body, in physical, in the physical, she's still here spiritually, and she'll always be here. Um, so that's like some of the things that have always kept me going, is that I know she's watching me, she's protecting me, through everything that I'm doing that is happening to me and in my life. So yeah, so it's yeah, so it's just some of the things, and just the fact that I know how important it is to be a mother, and being motherless myself, I know how important it is for me to take care of my child the way that my mom took care of me as well. I at least owe that to them. There's nothing that I live for rather than to make sure that their well-being is well taken care of, that they are fine, that they don't need anything, and that I give them all the love that I can give them at this particular time in the world. It's very essential. So yeah. My son. Oh, I love my son. I love my son. I love my son. Uh, I wouldn't say I could actually really look into their eyes first time, because their eyes were like kind of shut, at first, eye-opening moment, after being ripped off from the womb, as Shakespeare would describe children that were born by C-section. Just like, also my son had jaundice, so the first thing that I saw was that their eyes were a bit yellowish. But besides that, I don't think it was like me looking at their eyes specifically, but it was just looking at them as something that actually was produced by me, by my body. I created that shit. I made that shit. It was a very beautiful sight. The first time that I saw him, because also we had like several complications when we had to meet each other, me and my son. So it was the best feeling. I actually cried. I don't think there's any mother that does not cry when they first set sight, to their children when they're born. It just comes automatically. It's not a tear that you call and be like, okay, I'm gonna cry. They just fall down, and you just see yourself crying. And then, as for me, in my case, they had to wipe off the tear because I was obviously on the operation table. But yeah, my child's names are Ongagomhlaba Tsamaku, and my surname, they're 6 months today. Not today, but they're 6 months. They turned 6 months this month. This was their 6th month into the world.
My name is Zita. I'm a 23-year-old from Teresa. I am a vet graduate. I have an honors degree in town planning as well as a degree. I became a mom last year on the 28th of July. Well, my biggest motivation was my mom, because it wasn't easy. I believe you are one of the people who know my struggle through varsity, the challenges that I had to go through, the fact that I did not have accommodation till my honors year, the fact that I had to sleep on the cat lips, the fact that I had to use those gym showers in order for me to be able to attend my academic classes. His name is Ntando Inam Christian. He is almost 10 months. On the 28th, he'll be turning 8 months. It was great joining him for the first time. Yes, he's a very quiet child. Like, he's very bubbly, but he often cries. Motherhood is a great thing. If only you're a focused person, and motherhood does not mean that you have to stop your dreams or that you have to stop living your life. This means that you have to double the effort that you had in order to accomplish your dreams. And I see myself as a very motivated person, and I see myself as someone who will be accomplishing her dreams very soon.
Wow, that was beautiful. That was refreshing. Watching young African mothers telling their stories, telling us of their most beautiful, most strongest connections that they've ever developed in their lives with their young infants. Yes, imagine the power of being able to bring life into the earth, and more than just that, to shape them into tomorrow's leaders. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and sharing, and commenting. If you haven't already, please do so. And as always, stay tuned for more. Absolutely beautiful. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. That was quite inspirational. Watching young mothers from South Africa, Mzansi, sharing their journeys of motherhood and how it feels to be a mother. The most intimate and fundamental relationship that mankind could ever foster. It's really difficult because of the politics of identity that come into play in society that we have today, with mothers who are sometimes unable to provide for their kids, and in some situations in relationships, mothers are unable to provide the kind of relationship that the child deserves. But despite all the politics, it can be beautiful. It can be amazing. With that said, please join the amazing new Facebook group for the SBWL Show by following and clicking on the links below in the description of the video. And thank you so much for tuning in. With all colors, whatever culture you are, thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you again. Please do donate. Links to the PayPal account are in the description. And as always, see you next week.